Okay, let's begin our Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting. It's 5:03 and it's Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes, this is item 2, approval of the minutes, August 7th, 2019, special meeting.
It was not a special meeting, it was a regular meeting.
It was a regular meeting, amended. A motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, and August 7th, 2019, not a special meeting.
Second.
All in favor? All three of us are in favor. Item 3, review of the treasurer's warrants. Payroll, 66, 67. B, accounts payable, 68.
Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Those in favor? All three of us vote in favor. Open session, limited to 2 minutes per the chairman's discretion. Anybody want to speak? Looks like we're pretty much by ourselves, along with the road commissioner today. So we'll move on to old business, winter salt.
Okay, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I got an email from the state and of a list with minimum bid, well, you know, the lowest bids, and we didn't have anything on it, and I was like, well, does that mean nobody put in an offer? So I called the state. She was on vacation or at a conference, I can't remember which, and then I called Maine. What did I call? Maine Salt, I think it's the name of the company. Maine Salt Company, and asked him, and he thought the bids were already out. And he quoted me a price that we'd been quoted by the state. Tammy finally got back into her office. She sent me a quote today, same price, but it's a lot different than what New England Salt. You called them and they gave us 69. Maine Salt Company gave us 68 a ton, and this Harcross Chemicals gave us 57. Oh, wait a minute, 5610 here, 5610. We've used them before. We used them back in 2016. I don't know if anybody remembers anything about the experience and whether or not.
I think we just moved around off price base.
Talking about Harcross?
Harcross.
Yeah, they sell crappy salt.
They do?
Okay.
That's why it's so cheap.
Okay.
It's brown, nasty.
Oh, it's that brown salt?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so we're not talking apples to apples then.
But didn't we end up with brown salt at the end last year though? Even from, I thought the last one we did.
No, it's all white. Or pink or whatever color it is.
So do you think it's, oh, it doesn't matter. That's fine.
Well, so then we have to think about.
There's something to do with the moisture in it, something if I remember, with the brown.
Plug up the
It just don't
machine.
seem to work as good.
Well,
It
it's
doesn't
weather.
seem to
It's
work
like
as good.
contaminated.
No, it's just, it comes from a different part of the world.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's, you know, kind of like granite and
Exactly.
where you are is the color and
I
different
see.
characteristics and.
Okay, so you're suggesting don't steer away from that.
I would.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we've tried it several times in the past and it just doesn't work as good as the.
If you end up using more, you don't save any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, so, okay.
Okay, so the other thing is Maine Salt Company versus New England Salt.
I guess I don't know who Maine Salt is.
Maine Salt's out of Herman. They didn't know where we were when I called
Oh, boy.
them, but we're closer than they thought. They said $68 a ton, which is $1 less a ton, which is not
Not really a big number.
a lot of money, really. I mean,
How many ton are we getting?
we're talking what, 300, approximately 300 ton is what we were.
But with the other company, we've been using them and they've never stood us up, right? I mean, whenever we call, they get it.
New England Salt, you call them and they'll be right here the next day.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
where-
had
But
a-
you're only
Yeah.
talking $300, and
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the other
Yep.
No.
company.
When it comes to roads and salt, I
Yeah.
assume not.
But, yeah, fool around.
So if you want, I'll hand that over to Seth and you can call them and get your salt when you,
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, the last few years we've been using New England salt and they're just so good. You call them and they're here the next day and,
Reliability is worth something.
We've
You bet.
used them, what, the last 2 years, so
Okay.
yeah.
it's not, and like I said, Harcross, we haven't used them since 2016. We were right in the middle of a town manager change, so I don't know that anybody knows how that went.
Remembers.
No, but I do remember, the conversation about the brown salt.
Yeah.
And
So.
and disappointments with it. I guess is a better way to.
Yeah.
Well, the state, we needed to see what they come up with, so
Yep.
there's our answer, so.
So do we need to make a motion to go, or no? No.
No, I
Okay.
just wanted to.
Okay, very good.
So we'll move on to, the warrant for a special town meeting.
Why don't we do, C first, because it's just an update. I
Okay.
just want to tell you, I met with,
That's the Manhattan boat launch update,
yes,
okay?
I met with Diana Serco, who works for Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, and did a walkthrough of the site, because we're still thinking about, do we want to put a road in? What do we need to improve the boat launch so that, parking and those kind of issues. He walked it with me. He's in charge of funds. I don't remember the names. Anybody heard of Pittman Robinson money?
No.
It's federal money for, comes from taxes on guns and ammo, and then the feds turn it back to the states, who give it out to gun clubs and places to improve their facilities for the public. So he's the same thing, but it's for inland fisheries, so it's on fishing equipment.
Sure.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and those kind of things. He says he doesn't have any money for
On the shore of that one.
because we have decent access already. They want to fund things where they don't have decent access, and there's not a lot there.
Could you
But-
define decent access? Because we have unsafe access.
Well, so he's also on the board that decides who gets money for grants from the public lands in agriculture. So we kept going with this discussion. The discussion about moving the road, he would recommend, if you're going to try to sell that, because he doesn't think they'll see that as an improvement to the boat landing. But putting it from that little parking lot around the end of the soccer field and moving the soccer field in,
Oh, boy.
so that you don't have to clear that land, stump
Oh,
it and grade it, and
Oh. Oh,
just telling you
Oh.
what he was thinking. And then we went down to the boat launch. He thought we could get away with trying to widen it, get extra parking.
Right, but we want to move the boat launch
How far?
over by the beach.
Well, it's something we want to at least be able to consider.
Right, yeah,
He may
right.
tell us that you cannot consider that.
Right.
Or
Well,
someone like him.
the good news there is, those cement pads have basically reached their lifespan.
Yep.
And so, if you want to do something like that,
They need to be.
Timing might be good.
timing
Yeah.
might be good. He said, make sure you put in something to make it more handicap accessible. That's a big
When you upgrade, you upgrade.
grade, and
Yeah.
it's a big seller, is to make it more open to more of the public.
Sure.
And then, so I contacted Heather Siders from Public Lands and Agriculture, or however that is. And she's gonna talk to him, and then she's gonna talk to me again, and we can see whether we want to continue that process. It requires a 25% in-kind, or money down from us, up to 150,000. So it's, if you want to think about it, that's where it's at. But you'd like to get rid of the beach and,
No,
I wanna
no.
utilize the beach and the boat landing all in that same area.
well, he said to me,
You don't need to call it a beach, cause we don't call it a
"Well, the
beach now,
now."
it's,
Yeah, we don't use.
it's not technically a beach, just cause
Yeah.
kids and people are there and they're
We
laying out on
talked,
the
we
sand.
talked about
with a
maybe
towel.
opening it up so that people can't be down there and not be seen if you open it up a
Right,
little and,
Right.
you know, all those kind of things. So I'll try to get Heather out to look at the site, since she's the one in charge of grant funds, see what she says, and then we can assign somebody to work.
Well, at least, once we know what we can and can't do, that'll
Right.
help us with our plan.
Right.
And he didn't say you couldn't go through the woods, just that it would require a lot more money.
Well, the only thing about moving the soccer, that field is there's all kinds of money been put in there
I
as far as for
understand.
drainage and everything else, and the other thing is we don't wanna move the field over to there because they wanna utilize that for future playground equipment.
Well, you'd still have room for playground equipment and you'd have room for walking trail, but they really were keen on building.
I think so.
You don't think so?
If you're gonna move a soccer field over 20 feet to make a road that's 20 feet,
Yeah.
you move the field, you lost that whole area.
Oh, you have that whole area, but
It's gone.
there's still, you wouldn't be driving beyond the parking lot, so there's some space in there.
Oh, okay, you're picking up all that additional road that.
But then, but you still have, you know what I mean, you still have all that other spot, so.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not, it's gonna take some thinking and, you know,
But you could move a soccer field for the cost of not very much road.
right.
You start putting a road through that forest. Now, I haven't, nobody's really walked there, I don't believe, in
I walked
seeing the
it.
lay of the land. I
I
mean,
walked it
It's
many
not,
times.
it's pretty open
It
in
is.
there.
Ain't nothing in there.
It's pretty open
It
in
looks like
there.
a lot when you're driving by it. but
Yeah, but it's not.
If you hit that in the spring,
There,
it's
but there
surprise
is, there's a couple of low areas.
you. Yeah,
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
But
give it-
then
give
I
it
guess
care.
you start getting some contractors go and look at it, if somebody
Exactly.
approves it, and tell you what the difference is in cost.
Yep, and then you can make a decision.
Right.
Or-
It'd be nice to come up with a good plan, because I mean, the cost on that soccer field, or rec field, whatever you wanna call it, was astronomical.
Yeah,
But the cost of the town was,
minimal.
Right.
so I don't know, you know, I know this is different, but I'm sure we could reach out to some of the contractors and they would be willing to donate a day or here to work on some of this.
Yep.
So I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it has to be $150,000 project.
Well, that'd be great, not to be a, but,
But first, we gotta kinda know what you can and
What you
cannot
can and
do.
can't do.
yeah.
Um,
And I kind of thought that inland fisheries was gonna be a better way to go, but he says,
well,
unless you get to the end of the grant season and they don't have, you know, they don't have enough applicants to,
Yeah, I wonder if that ever happens.
Yeah, don't hold your.
I've heard it does, but then,
Yeah.
I mean, but if you didn't apply, then.
Yeah, well, that's true. No,
You
you
know,
don't ask.
who's gonna go through all that trouble when they say to you, yeah, you're kind of bottom of the list, you know, so I
Right.
don't know, but that's my update,
So back to B,
yes.
we're gonna work on the warrant for the special town meeting.
We can do that, but I guess we have to work on what are we going to do from McPeters Road? I mean, we have to make a decision there.
Well, that's how we're gonna formulate how much money we're gonna
Right,
ask for.
right.
Right.
And how much money do we have left, and
Right.
so on and so forth.
Right. So.
Do you have this? You have the.
I do,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I gave him
Oh, good.
a copy. Most of this you've looked at before. To finish the McPeters Road, the 4 inches of gravel, pay for reclaim, to pay for shim, overlay is $224, $530.
I just wanna add that 4 inches of gravel is probably gonna be closer to 30 because we can't get it from Haley's.
Okay.
They pretty much told me today that they don't wanna do it.
Really?
Yeah, I know, I was completely shocked. He said he gave Rob my number last week to call me, and I ain't heard Rob from him, and I called him again today, and I said, so he's really just basically not interested, and he said, well, it's kinda looking that way yet. I said, all right, well, that would've been nice to know last week, so that I could have looked at
Well,
somewhere else.
really.
Whoa,
So this number now is like 232.
So 7,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking at close to an hour and a half a trip from Garland. And then we need 125 loads to make 1,500 yards, so.
So, just so I can imagine how, is all of that on the road a day or two before they come and show up to reclaim? Or
Yeah, it
how?
doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, we can have it on there for a half an hour and they'll be right there.
Okay,
Yeah,
but-
that doesn't,
but you're not hauling it the same day they're reclaiming?
no. No, usually either, in Parkman, for example, we're running late now, so I'm just gonna have them come grind it and I'll put the gravel on after, because it's so late now. I mean,
So yours isn't gonna get ground in with the,
no.
no, which we've all been kind of led to believe that's optimal.
Well, I did it last year over on North Dexter Road, and that come out real good, so. And it was the first time I've ever tried it, so. I really don't have a lot of experience doing it that way, not gonna lie to you.
I'd seen, when I talked, I haven't talked to B&B, but when I talked to, it was, no, it was B&B, I haven't talked to Roundy's. That's what I imagined his description was, that we were gonna, you kind of till it in.
Yeah, you mix the new gravel with what's.
Yeah, so that's why I imagined it was gonna be down at least a
Exactly.
day before, but it could be 2 days or 3
Yep.
days, but.
As long as you can stay in front of it, you can do it right when. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be
Exactly, that's right,
compacted
yeah.
or, you just gotta get it somewhat to grade so
That's
it's
right.
somewhat consistent.
Okay, so that, I mean, I like round numbers, so we'll call it 230.
30, okay, so 230?
Yeah, 232, I guess, is.
Okay.
How much money do we have left?
Left in the budget, is that 217?
217, and I think I actually have to remove Seth's last bill. What did I-
Because one of the things that I was kind of thinking about is if we go and ask for, I anticipate we'll get this money, but if we don't get this money, we've gotta be able to put some kind of a bow on this thing to get us through the winter. And so that's why what we have left, if that's all we really have left, it may change our strategy over there.
Right.
And we really don't know yet until we go.
Well, the last time I
to town
talked to
meeting.
Roundy's, they don't know when their reclaimer is available at the moment.
Did you speak to them about their own availability?
No, because she didn't know when they could reclaim it.
Okay.
Did Pike send you another thing?
Yeah, it basically says the same,
Well, they knocked 2,500 right off it, he told me.
well,
They're looking for, they called and texted me last week looking for work.
Oh.
And
Oh,
I
the
said, I
other-
said, your price is too
We're
high.
hungry.
We gotta
You
try
gotta
to
get your price down.
Yeah,
now.
good.
So he knocked 2,500 off and he's available.
I've got it.
whenever.
Okay.
Wow, that's
Wow.
interesting.
Here it is, right
That's
here.
gonna change things.
Maybe I couldn't see the 2,500 and the
That's why I'm gonna do what
420.
I'm gonna do over there, just in case we run out of time, at least.
Here it
that's-
is, guys. But the other thing is, Roundy's will charge you more for what they've already done.
Right. That was kind of the agreement of doing what they did, was because they was gonna do this over here, because we all kind of agreed on the price.
Yeah,
But that was all contingent on being able to get it done.
right,
If they can't get it done, then they renege on their end.
There's nothing
That's
we can
right,
do about that.
right, I mean, if we need to get this,
But I guess, and we can regroup, I mean, we're not, more of a question than a statement. Of this 217, what is really, you said there may be an outstanding bill there?
On the warrant
You decide,
today.
not sure myself.
so that's subtracted
Oh.
from 217 then, that number
It was,
needs to be subtracted. That's, okay.
But really, if you don't get the money, your option is to not do the overlay.
right,
Yeah, at a minimum. Maybe, we may have to, that's why I wanna know what's left here. I don't know how much is.
here it is, right here.
And Seth, we don't know whether this, oh, well, I mean, Silver's Mills we've done already.
Yeah.
So do they know that, you know, the two are completely separate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and one
Yeah,
wasn't contingent on the
everybody
other.
He's
else
simply
seemed
looking
to-
for reclaim work.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
exactly what he told me.
everybody else seems to
Oh,
know
oh,
that.
So
he's
I
looking-
wonder, he may be able to do this for roundies. If those two work
I
together.
see.
I don't know how that works.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, if roundies can't get a reclaimer, but they're ready to pave, and
Right.
Pike
Oh, yeah.
can't pave, but they wanna reclaim, you might be able to use
Oh,
one.
oh. Okay.
I'm sure it would work. I'm
Okay.
sure it would work.
Okay, all right, so that's good.
So it may be that the reclaiming won't hold roundies up at all.
That's right.
Correct.
Okay, do we have a number?
73, it's about 7,300.
Oh, okay, so 210.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine, all right. So, yeah, so you're right, Dave. I mean, that, kind of our worst case scenario is
Yep,
hold back the shim. I mean, the overlay,
the overlay.
do that next year. I don't think that's gonna happen to us. I mean, we have almost enough in sold equipment and real estate to finish this project. And I think if it's presented that way, I can't imagine it wouldn't go through, but I just feel like we gotta be prepared for the
Right,
worst.
right.
So what we're asking for then is 22 additional to finish this. Is that fair to say?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
well.
7 to it.
Yep. Yeah, well, I took this down to 210, so I
210
just,
to 230, so is 20, and so you're adding,
About,
about 22 grand to finish McFeeters.
yeah.
And then the question is, are we gonna ask for these other components? We're estimating East Sangerville.
well, and you
Trench
also
paving.
need to, what was that number, Bridie, that you wanted for the cover between now and spring?
Oh, winter miscellaneous public works?
Yeah,
Last year you spent 13,000 on brush and tree removal. I assume you're not going to spend, or looking to spend all of that this year, so I just cut it in half and put it at 7. Miscellaneous, you had things like removing the docks, we have beaver issues. We have nobody to shovel. We need somebody to do some shoveling. There was some mixing of salt and sand that needed to be done. There were a few little things, and they didn't add up to much, so I ballparked it at 3,000. And that you'd need 10,000 in public works to get through.
Okay.
so I mean, if you're gonna ask to finish, you got
Sure.
22, then you got 10 for that.
32,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
Because if you don't get any money, the 10 you just talked about comes out of the 210.
That's right.
correct.
Okay, so this is really 2, which makes
Yeah,
this
yeah,
32.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Because
right.
you have to have those
You have
things.
to have that much,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
right.
asking for it, you're just replacing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, you're
I
right.
mean,
yeah, we need
some of that will be in the budget in terms of, I don't have much for repair and I don't have, but they're moving pieces.
It don't take long though to
It
hit
doesn't
that.
take long to do that, no.
No, so you're right, like really.
Yeah, subtract,
This is two.
You've already
make
got
this
10
200.
You got
and-
10 grand allocated for that maintenance, so there's 200 left.
Right,
Correct.
so
So you need
30 to
32 to
finish.
finish the project.
Alright,
Which still, I mean, if we don't get the money, the overlay is still gonna work.
right.
So that's okay. So is there anything else outstanding?
Not that I know of, no.
So now the question is, what else do we wanna add to our wish list? For 52, roughly, call it, yeah, 52, we can do all the prep necessary on
Well,
East Sangerville. Isn't that what that number represents?
Knowlton Mills and Line Road, those gravel prices I'm assuming would change
They're gonna
as
change,
well.
yeah.
So you're gonna need more there.
Yep.
So change
and-
that.
And I don't know that you want to do all of East Sangerville, I don't know that you want to do both Line Road and a piece of Knowlton Mills. I mean, we have to make,
Well, and I actually had Ryan hit me up. He's the one that bought the property on the corner of Anderson and Silver's Mills. Who's been cleaning all of that up. So one thing that he's actually gonna be doing here right off is cutting a lot of the trees and the brush going down through the Anderson Road on his property. Which is also the same stretch of the Anderson Road that hasn't been ditched and gets pretty muddy every spring. So he wanted to make sure we knew he was gonna do that part, and at the same time, they're gonna be in there with a bulldozer and he's gonna be moving stuff around. So that if there was any money, or and if we had thought about doing any ditching over there, while he's got it cut, he'll actually have a place right there where we can dump the material. So, I mean, the cost is fairly minimal if it would work to hit that up while he's doing all this. If it's not part of our plan or whatever, then it's not, but if you do go over there and you look at it, that whole section, that is the bad spot, so. And you can actually see it's kinda like on the line road, and that's one thing that he pointed out was originally that road, you know, was fairly straight down through there, but over the years where it's so bad, everybody, yeah, just getting out there, so.
The trench paving is not a part of this 52, is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
And if you do all this, it's required.
Yep.
So really, it should be a part. I'm just from.
And I don't know how many,
So this really is 60.
I don't know how many culverts we have. That, I called a couple of contractors, it's about $250 a ton for a trench paving. I didn't know how many culverts we were actually talking out on East Sangerville Road. I mean, are you doing 2 sections, are you doing 1 section, and how many do we have on the entire road? I don't.
How many's on the entire road?
Well, how many that you're talking about replacing?
I can tell you. Maybe. East Sangerville. 11.
And I've-
Total?
And I've
12, because there's one reason.
And I budgeted for 50 from there.
And I had a conversation with C&W not very long ago, and he's got a short list. Now, some of these culverts may be a part of this, where we're gonna hit these, but there may be 2 or 3 random ones that, they're saying, boy, you guys ought to address them.
Yeah.
So I think using 15 is probably a better number than using 11 or 12.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, maybe even 18, because, I mean, if we don't spend it, we can use it next year, but.
Or you can use it on dirt, you can use
Yeah,
it somewhere else.
exactly.
Now, I got different quotes for trench paving. Some people said it was gonna take you 3 to 4 tons to do a culvert, and some people said you could take as little as 1. You said,
Depends on what you want to put in.
you said you do parklands.
Mhm.
What do you,
I get
I
hooked
mean,
up though, and I roll it down with the dump truck. I mean, it's really not the right way to do it, but we do.
okay. So,
I was thinking last, we paid like $500 a piece.
I thought that was the
And
number
I
2.
mean,
and
does that sound right?
What's that?
Like $500 a pop for trench paving? Isn't that what we paid last year?
I thought B&B did it too.
For doing what?
When your culverts,
Yeah.
to have them come in and pave that over afterwards?
Cut
So when you're snow plowing in the winter, you're not.
Bingo, we paid around 600.
Was it? Okay, I was thinking it was 5, but 6, it
Yeah,
was,
5 or 6 for the,
I don't think it was $750 though.
one the Silver Mill.
So that 750 number, you got that from who?
I talked to Roundy's and
Depending on the
I
size,
talked
too.
to,
But I was thinking they said
Trouble, if you keep
they're
them
doing
narrow,
so
it
much.
seems
It
like-
wasn't
Well,
B&B.
because it
All
wasn't
of us
B&B.
do.
It
We're
was,
getting a little wide.
For some reason, I thought we did it last time we did.
it was Jeff from.
Pike's
it
had
was-
somebody
it was
else,
just-
it was part of Pike, and Pike subcontract that out, and I can't remember who they used. But it was in the Pike's,
Well, like, it's a heavy number.
it's very,
If you go with that, you're gonna have plenty of money.
here, yep,
There's some little outfit that
Yep.
they sub to.
yep, I can't remember
See
either.
those other.
So you're saying the 11 is on?
Well, I think if you use 750 and you use 15,
Okay.
you've got some cushion there
Okay.
for a few random culverts that, maybe we haven't anticipated,
Okay.
which I would rather have.
The bigger question for me is we're talking, this list of stuff to do is covering that whole road.
Right.
Are you saying the following year you wanna go after paving that entire road in one shot?
I doubt it.
Because, I mean, if we're not
We're
gonna
talking-
plan on paving the whole thing next year, some of these we probably don't wanna do this year.
Well, you're talking,
There's a couple
A
that
mile
really,
and a quarter
really
for
should be
each.
done with no.
No, I-
pavement at all.
right,
Well, if you pave 4 miles,
I think they're just.
you're looking
talking
at,
about
what, 400 grand?
East Sangerville right this minute, but we got that
Anyway.
on here too,
yeah,
Jimmy.
so you're looking,
Is that
it's
a
3.7, so you're
one
looking
that
at,
you listed, the dozen? Was it
That was all
Right.
these things that I listed, yeah.
That includes the Flanders Road?
Flanders, I got that too somewhere.
Cause there's some there that need to be done.
Yeah, Flanders Hill is.
But you know
one,
what,
two, three,
you might
four,
say,
five, six
we'll
culverts
just
on
do
Flanders Hill
overlay
that
next
need to be
year,
done.
and then we'll do the rest the following year.
Not right in
You
the
certainly
road.
could do that.
I think it's only.
I mean, there's no reason not to
maybe
prep it all for
three,
63 grand.
Right in the road, yep, that's
Some
right.
What I'm saying is some of these, some of this stuff you're prepping,
All the entrance
you
culverts.
don't need to,
to do.
you wouldn't do.
Like that shop.
Well,
they put in-
if you're gonna do, for example,
Yep, that needs to be changed.
you're gonna forego the overlay. Let's say you say,
Oh,
in fact, you
okay.
could even ask the question that way,
Yeah.
next year's town meeting.
That don't make
Pay the
much
whole
sense.
thing is 400 grand, or 280, and we do the overlay in 2021. I mean,
Of East Sangerville.
yeah. But I don't think you'd ever ask for less than at least the shim.
Right.
All I'm saying is,
I mean, the road's pretty bad.
we've been pulling off 2 miles of pavement, or if we get this done, this will be over 2 miles of pavement, the last 2 years in a row. That's never happened. Now we're talking about prepping next year and going to the town to do 4 miles.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing.
I do too, but I just,
Okay.
budgetarily, as long as we can figure it out without.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would seem like if worst case scenario, first of all, I don't think you're gonna have to raise anybody's taxes to do this. I suspect we're gonna be able to do this without raising taxes. But if it turns out, when we go through the budget process, that we don't wanna finish it and we only are going to shim it, that seems to me like worst case scenario.
I mean, I'm willing to try, because the only thing for me is no different than last year. We have in-town people that wanna pave, and all of us we got all this other stuff, so the only way we're gonna get caught up is we need to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at that road and there's pieces where I don't know why, but we literally went out and did like 60 yards. I mean, that can't be an efficient way to pave that road.
Right.
And then you go up another mile and there's another. I mean, it probably was a really bad spot, I'm guessing, but we did.
That was a pacifier.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks
Do
like.
a little bit on the.
Oh, to keep everybody
on the,
happy.
French's Mill Road, we did a little on the Silver's Mill Road, we come over here and
Spot
did two
treatments.
little spots. And they said there was no mobile, they weren't gonna charge. On the bill, it said mobile, $500-600.
Yeah,
That's moving, as far as I'm concerned.
They don't move that equipment for nothing.
So
No.
I don't think, I mean, we have never approached it that way, I know we never will, so, but it might mean that we have to be incremental in this and that we shim one year and we finish the next. If they don't give us the money, that's what'll happen.
But I wouldn't divide it up in the same year. I mean, if you wanna do a section of East Sangerville, then come up here and do Church Street and
Sure.
some of these streets the next year, okay, but don't do a little here and there.
No, that's
No,
not.
no,
Just
no,
to throw them a little cookie.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
no,
wanna do that. I wanna get that done, so honestly, I would think if we could get this done as planned,
Then come in.
then following in town, we could come in and get all the rest of the in-town roads
Exactly.
Right,
in one summer.
cause there ain't too often much prep work and
That's
stuff to
right.
do in town.
That's right.
And you're not gonna do it 100% right anyway,
You can't.
because you can't put
I
in
know all
box
about that.
sections and culverts and underdrains, so you just can't do it.
The
You're
only,
gonna have to just cut your shoulders down and pave it.
the only piece that we haven't talked about, Seth, and glad you're here, cause you know the history of that, but when you're on the East Sangerville Road, and you go around the corner, past the Grange, past McNaughton Hill, there's, I call it a sinkhole. We paved right over it with that section, but it's pretty bad right now, but every spring, that just drops right out of sight.
So the
Didn't you
two
have
of
to?
them, yeah.
Two of them, you are very true.
I wouldn't know, we went over in the spring and filled it up with sand, and then
Yeah.
come back up, we gotta go take
I mean,
sand back.
What was the rock Robbie Haley?
It wasn't a rock, it was the sand that we had
Oh,
put
it
in
was the
there.
sand,
Right, the
okay.
sand come back up.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
oh, gotcha.
I mean, that gets,
I thought it was that spot though.
I mean, is that something, if we're gonna plan on doing all that, is that something we ought to dig
I
into,
can tell you how to
literally?
fix it, I know who screwed it up.
Okay,
I screwed it up. I dug the rocks out, one of them wasn't many rocks. And I put good, clean material back in it.
And it's surrounded by slop.
Right.
Just-
Slop comes out,
Yeah.
the material stays down.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna tell the public works guy how to fix it before he paved it, but he knew more than I did. So us maintenance will just sit back and watch them.
That's right.
And when they lose their breath, we laugh like hell. And, just gotta dig in places out and put shit in up until, excuse my language, up until you get to the 6 inches of good gravel and put the good gravel on top.
That's right.
I use nice, clean, 2-inch minus gravel. And I found out it's wrong.
That makes all kinds of sense.
You put me-
Till it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's awfully nice to know, rather than thinking the worst of what you
No,
gotta dig
no,
into.
yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
is good to know.
And another thing, that
I-
section needs to be ditched. Because the water is soaking right into your road bed.
Yeah,
And he's got a culvert right at the mouth of the McDonald Road that's right out of ground.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
You can't drop it, I had to put that into the laser. And I only had like 2 inches in the whole length of that cussed culvert.
Yeah, that's a long one too, it's like 40-some feet, ain't it?
Yep,
Why can't you drop it, Timmy? What?
no ditch.
Oh, okay, all right. So when we ditch it, we'll be able to get it at the proper
Right,
depth.
you
I
get
see.
down. You gotta start ditching it, and that's why I was so upset when they paved that section, because it wasn't ready, it wasn't cracked,
Well, that's, yeah, and then we're no risk of doing anything like that, but,
you know, and,
so,
I screwed up and I admitted it.
best of intentions.
That's right.
That's unusual today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No, I tried to prevent that,
So
but it didn't work.
if you add these, I mean, basically we're at 95, now the question is, do you wanna add some additional for more gravel roads or other projects? But 95 basically finishes McFeeters, and accommodates the 10,000 miscellaneous, and preps all of East Sangerville. That's the number I'm coming up with. 63 and 32. So is there anything else that we wanna ask for?
I mean, other than that little bit we did on the West Road, we haven't really touched the dirt road. I'd like to do a little something little more on the dirt roads.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
as you
some
saying, I gotta
Washing out
do,
pretty good.
That little bit on Knowlton Mills gives you an idea, that's $4,300 they're estimating.
It's gonna be more because you've increased your gravel
Yeah,
price.
gravel.
Gravel.
Yeah.
That was coming from Haley's, but he don't seem to wanna.
So, I mean,
but if you
even,
just do dirt roads, just say you're gonna do,
you could easily do
yards.
$30,000 worth of dirt road work.
why would you even go that high? You only got 10 between the two.
Right,
If you
but
put 10, 15 between ditching and gravel work on dirt roads.
So are
something like
you
that,
thinking about
some of
doing
these-
all this
With the
year?
Anderson roll.
Is that what you're getting at? Are you
Yeah,
thinking
that's
of
what-
getting all the East Sangerville done this year?
Yeah,
Ain't no way,
why?
ain't no way.
Why?
September's next week? We're gonna have to start thinking about getting one of sand done, just the gravel on this is gonna take 2 weeks. I don't foresee it happening. Maybe I'm crazy, you think so?
No, I think you're right on, spot on.
Yeah,
You got a section of East End's gotta be rebuilt.
yeah,
That section coming out of the Haley's pit and headed east, where the trucks from Crenna,
Rolled it.
that's gotta be rebuilt. I mean, Christ, that's 2 feet of better deep
is,
on
yeah.
that right-hand side. And that's gonna be a pretty good piece of change right there.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't think there'd be a problem with getting a mile ready on one end or the other, but as far as doing the whole thing, I don't see it happening.
Now, are you saying that you personally can't do it? You know what I'm saying?
I'm
That-
saying we're running out of time.
Right, right,
By the time
and
we get
even,
all this done up here.
right,
Yeah.
even, you know, reaching out to other contractors and saying,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't,
maybe.
I mean, I wonder if we put another one, you know, if you coordinate with a guy and he's working on one end, you're working on the other end.
Right,
If, maybe by October, you're meeting in the middle.
yeah,
I mean, that's what I would,
possibly. I mean, I feel that's very high hopes, but,
I mean, it's all about the size of the team.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
right,
obviously,
that's right.
if you had enough people, you could get it done next week. Well, no, that's not gonna happen, I get that, but,
Right.
And the trouble I think you're gonna find is everybody's busy.
that's probably
It's
true,
nice.
although Mike is
I mean-
looking for work.
Mike's looking for reclaim work, yeah, that's for
I
sure.
started talking to some contractors and they're all telling me they're
Right out straight.
Yeah.
busy. Yep.
This has been one of the busiest years I've ever seen. So, and everybody's saying the same thing.
Okay, I just wanted
Well, that tells you the towns all have money to spend.
You
Right.
know, it's rain.
Yeah, and rain, it slowed everybody down
Yeah,
too,
they're
yeah,
all,
yeah. Well, so then the question is, do we anticipate that we won't be able to implement it, so we just ask for less? Or do we ask for it with the hopes that we get it down? If we don't get it down, it'll reduce next year's budget, cause you're not gonna, maybe you could get them both done. Maybe you could prep next spring and still be ready to pave everything, so your budget wouldn't change.
well, it probably depends on what kind of spring you have.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the same with the fall. I mean, we got cold
Yeah.
early last year, we get cold early this year.
Right.
It'll mess us up.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of variables in there.
Yeah, 10 grand a culvert, you can buy them anytime. Even if you don't
Well,
get it done this year, you still
I've
buy it.
been,
Yeah.
I talked
Yeah, they don't go bad.
to Paris Farmers, but I talked to somebody in corporate. If we order all our culverts, they'll give us a bigger break.
Mm-hmm.
So if you and I wanna sit down
Yep.
and think about,
I have got lists of culverts here 4 miles long.
yep, yep.
Wow,
I know
But
what every
if-
one of them is, yeah.
If we ordered them all at once and
that's the way to do it.
it was more than,
And then we have them. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, if we're gonna go galvanize, that's what we pretty much have to do, because I run into
Yeah,
a real
Paris
big
Farmers
problem
won't do-
trying to find them for McFeeters.
won't be galvanized for a big order. So
They
that's-
won't?
No, they order, it's strange. Maybe you can find somebody who will do that, but they all told me they order what they think they're gonna need and then first come, first served, and if you're there, if you're there and they have what you want.
I talked to the road commissioner in Dexter, and he says everybody's going up north somewhere.
Okay,
Main, is that up north?
When, yeah.
Yeah, that's where everybody's getting their galvanized now. I guess somebody up there has a bunch of them, but he says they're Canadian. So
I was
they
gonna say,
won't-
they're
they
coming
won't-
down out of Canada.
They won't hook to any that we already have.
Oh.
Because they're metric.
Oh.
oh,
But if you've got all of them.
sure,
we should
Sure,
have
for
set.
one job,
Yeah.
then you're,
Really don't make any difference, you're putting all new culvert in anyway, so.
Right,
We ain't
yeah.
gonna be hooking to anything, we ain't got nothing on the ground.
you
Alright,
just have to be careful
We've stuck
if you're local
plastic in so
people.
long.
yeah, you can't hook to a one, he says they're metric, so the band won't fit.
If we got anything you're gonna take out, you're gonna want to use part of it to hook to a new one anyway.
No,
Most
I mean, if you're
American
taking it
culverts
out-
have changed over the period of years, you can't hook them.
Right.
Worst case, you get stuck
I've
with
seen
one.
3 different types, in my
yeah,
lifetime.
wow.
We had 2-piece
yeah,
couplings at one time,
yeah,
and we had, they went on spiral fans, they just come out, cut them whatever you wanted.
yeah.
And then they
A lot of them
had,
are riveted together,
they had the ring ones with just 2 ribs,
yeah,
and then they had the 4 ribs on them,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
so.
It's no different than anything else. It works today. Doesn't mean it's
If
gonna work
you
5
take
years.
anything out of grounds any good, you're gonna put it right back in like I did on the Silver Mills Road and the Brockway Mills. I cut the bolts, pulled them out, bought new bolts, put them back in, prepped it and set them right back in. Cause the whole covers are good.
Yeah, they're all, the only thing that does go bad is the bolts, correct?
Yeah, well, no, the covers had risen.
Yeah.
So now to get them apart, I just cut the bolts,
Yeah,
so I could take them out, and then re-grade it.
yeah,
Put them back in, so all we had to buy was new bolts. Put them back together, cause I couldn't unscrew them.
no.
So whether we get it done or not,
I got
whether we're
new
able to
bolts.
quickly or not,
That's
we wanna ask for the funds to do it. Is that fair to say?
It's up to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm saying, we're
Yeah,
I
working
know,
on what
yeah.
the warrant's gonna read like,
right.
so, even if we're not positive we'll be able to
We'll get
complete
it.
it, we're still gonna ask.
Yeah, I would split it. I mean, you're gonna ask for basically 32,000 to finish McFeeters.
So you wanna split up the warrant
I-
or delineate
I
the
would.
dollars?
I think it helps, and
Okay.
we're gonna get to a sourcing here too, because there's items that we have sold that I think it's good to point out.
That this will pay for this,
Right.
you know, this is covered.
Because at the end of the day, you could ask for the 32,000, and it may, I mean, you're gonna take it out of general, because that's where everything is, but you're not gonna,
But
they need to know that we put quite a bit back into general that weren't there. That wasn't even part of a conversation.
we also have another vehicle that we probably ought to ask for permission to sell.
Sure.
In this same warrant, in the same.
Might as well.
Oh, okay.
It's not doing any good to sit there forever.
Yeah, it's just going down in value. We did all right on the last one, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
guarantee we do as well on this one, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We can shrink your price, but you can't increase it.
Correct.
Exactly.
But I think it'd be better if you're gonna, I
So you
mean,
might wanna have answers to people's questions.
correct.
How much to do this and that,
Right.
you know,
Yep,
or we might shrink it more than what you want it from.
So do you wanna do it as each one as a separate article? Or X number of dollars total and then say this is what it,
that's kinda how I imagine it. These are
Yeah.
the projects that are gonna get done with this amount of money.
And
But
then
what
so separate them underneath as an explanation.
And then if they wanna pull
32,000.
something, they can say, oh, well, you
Nobody
know,
asks any question, I wouldn't worry about it.
yeah, well, that's
But
typically
just
what
have-
happens.
Just be prepared to answer that question.
Yeah,
Well, it's two ways of wording it. You can word it, you can separate these out, so
right,
people
in
know.
separate articles?
Or
No?
you can word it as a bucket, but then you could explain to people, it's so much for this, so much for that.
The only thing that I'm, is then if you get a group that's saying, well, no, I don't wanna spend X on the dirt roads this year, I mean, how are we gonna sort it all out?
They will say, I make a motion to amend the article, we subtract 32,000
Right,
and
The
right,
money's not
they can reduce the
done.
money, but I don't
Right.
think they can target how they can't say, pull that road off.
okay,
yeah,
okay,
they,
I mean, they
Okay.
can say it, but,
right,
No, they'll just use the information you give them.
okay.
Right.
And use that dollar
Drop
value.
the figure.
but that doesn't mean we can't spend the money where we want, it's just we're gonna have less money.
Okay.
That's why I
I
don't
see.
see there's a problem with,
Okay,
And you don't have to have it on the warrant. You can have that, a breakdown for us or who's gonna
as
discuss
a
Sure.
handout?
oh, I'd just be prepared to answer the question,
to
I
answer
think.
the question.
do you want, yeah, do you want a list?
Well, like what we're doing right now, really,
Right.
like we think we.
Sure.
I wouldn't put this out for everybody.
No,
I
no,
would
no,
get this
no.
short and sweet
Sure.
because
Yep.
there's
Okay.
way
You
too
want
much
the
information. And
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't
sort
need
through
to.
it.
It's not
Sure.
one item.
And it's, again,
I mean, you could, real short, McFeeters is 32,000 to complete. Prepping East Sangerville is 52,000,
right,
you know,
right.
Yeah.
15,000 for dirt
I
road.
like more of a, just
I
a
mean, that's our
description
thought
of the
of where
total
we're gonna
number,
go.
and then if somebody
If
says,
you
well,
wanna-
how much you.
you start getting into all of this, that's when
Well, actually.
You're
we're
gonna
only
be
doing
hemming and
35
hawing, you should use this call, so
So-
that,
Right,
this.
right.
And
Just
because
somebody asks a question.
people know we-
so
Right,
Correct.
we'll be prepared.
You can have your information in
A
front
lot of
of
money
you.
into the budget.
Question ain't asked,
Okay,
Right.
okay.
And we're,
I get
and
it.
we're really,
I get
we're
it.
pretty close to finishing this project.
And when somebody asks, well, if we don't approve this, what happens? Well, what happens is McFeeters gets binder, but it doesn't get shim, and the shim becomes the top of the list for next year. So that comes
Mm-hmm. Just
off from what we're
kicking
gonna,
the can down the-
Sure.
And
Right.
we'll be right back in front of you in 6 months asking for the same amount of money again.
Right,
And when, by the way, I don't anticipate that, your
cost
taxes are
you
gonna go up 1 penny because of this.
Right.
And I bet it goes through. But we,
do
Okay.
you remember the number we have as far as between the property and the truck, what that total is?
I think it was around 58, almost 60 grand.
I was thinking it was over 60, but.
38 and 20, wasn't it?
Well, you had to take the, how much, I can't remember how much taxes you had to take off,
Oh, it was minimal.
it was minimal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we was alright there.
okay.
So I mean, in a nutshell, you're talking about 30 grand's all we're really asking for.
So far,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's a bigger number, but when you take what we
right.
get off the
What
truck,
we
and
can
what we get off
offset,
that property,
where it's coming from.
extra
What
revenue that
Right.
nobody anticipated.
Right.
How's that for?
Right,
No, and if you really wanna push the envelope, we've got $100,000 that's been sitting in Public Works for over 3 years now, that's just sitting there. Maybe it's time to look at freeing up some of that asset. You know, that's taxpayer money that's just sitting there. Between, if you took half of that and the monies that we just referenced, the truck and the property,
We're
you're not actually touching anything.
Right, okay.
I can't imagine it wouldn't get approved.
I would almost rather leave that there for now and go into the theory of trying to pave 4 miles next year.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, there,
there's
that's
a-
great.
You're
You
gonna
get
get
100 grand, nobody's touching it, why not use it on paving?
And just move it out in one
Yeah.
bulk. I guess you can, I mean. Whatever's the
As
easier
you can see
step.
at your meetings, nobody really gives a hoot.
Well, it's funny, the thing that gets usually tossed around is some small expenditure, $100 or something.
Yeah, nobody worries about
And
400.
then you push 400 in front of them, and they're all like,
Yep.
yep,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it is funny how that works.
Yeah,
But, you take even this year though, I mean, we had somebody who's pretty adamant about paving in town. I mean, we have people that want this parking lot paved. I get it, but unless we can figure out how to get these 4 miles paved, get that done so we can come around and get all of this, then it would be easier to pave the parking lot. When everybody's not so upset because their road needs to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
And you ain't throwing them a cookie just to make them.
right, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing
Costing you money.
No
No.
cookies on the menu.
that. No,
I'd rather keep them hungry for a little longer than
and then
Give 'em something
do
good
it
when it's
properly.
right.
Do it properly,
Right.
from start to finish.
So are we ready to build this thing?
Well, okay.
So 95,000 plus what? Another 20?
For the dirt, for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there's
miscellaneous gravel
roads.
work?
How'd you get 95?
63
And 32.
and 32.
95.
Oh, so you added an extra 10 for more because of the increase on the gravel on 52.
Well, if we're gonna do, if you do this work, this trench paving is
It has
built
to
in.
go in.
Okay,
You gotta
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
trench paving.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
no,
I just threw it in there, cause
Okay.
it's really part of that whole bundle.
And you think another 20?
If we ask, that's 20,000 that we could dedicate towards various gravel work.
So you're thinking about asking for 115.
Yeah,
Can I ask you one question?
you can ask
I
several.
won't have to ask you at the special meeting. When you get the McFeeters Road all done, am I gonna be able to use it to haul Jody's gravel and stuff?
Oh, you mean will it be weight limited?
Yeah, you've got it limited at 50,000, we can't haul on it.
Is that state, is it the state that does that or did we do that as a town?
Town,
We did that.
your town manager did it. Ken Woodbury, I think, was manager at the time.
The only question about that, Chummy, I have a question, is then, if you take that weight limit off, are you gonna get every?
No, you
He
could
just wants
put
to raise it.
maximum weight limit 60,000.
60, yeah.
That
And
lets
that
us
would-
fellows with the wheeler dumps
Yeah.
make the deliveries and stuff.
Okay, and so people aren't going to use it to cut through to Parkman or
Right.
the big tractor trailers?
Then your big
Still-
tractor trailers weighing 100,000 ain't coming down through.
Exactly.
What's a
They
bull
come down
logging
through
truck
empty.
weigh?
They can.
Sure they can.
Yeah.
60,000 they can come down through empty.
See, 50,000 is
Okay, that's the
is under
tipping.
what we can legally haul.
I
We
see,
can haul 59.5.
okay,
So if I bring you in a wheeler load of gravel, I've gotta come and get permission, like put my hand up in school if I wanna go to the bathroom.
Right.
yeah.
Legally,
Yeah, you're right.
It's obviously about protecting the road. I don't
which I did
know.
last year.
I think I will.
But,
I think
I
that
got
was
it.
kind of coordinated with us when we did the other end, because it was.
Oh, okay.
We had that all, and there was trucks going in.
And it was
people were
soft.
Complaining about trucks going, and they were staving it up, so I think it was kind of coordinated with Pikeman when we put them signs up.
It was.
oh, is that
I
right?
think so.
Interesting.
Okay,
We was
but-
doing that work over there, and
But they
everybody was
want
complaining. about
any
the big
good
truck.
thought put into it.
No. Wow, let's just limit it then, they said.
But in the springtime, none of us can go on the highway.
Sure,
It's actually
sure.
almost exactly
You
what I
know.
meant to say.
So, but in summertime, we ought to at least be able to make deliveries for our customers.
Right,
So we certainly could look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Make a
Didn't even
difference
know.
how I vote, give you any money.
oh, there you go.
I ain't gonna pay taxes if I ain't gonna get no benefit.
So you never drive on that road other than in a dump truck?
What's that?
You never drive on that road other than in a dump truck? Because it's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is,
He can't
my
conduct
business,
business.
my
I
income
understand.
Yeah.
comes through them trucks, if I
Right.
can't haul on it,
Right,
what the heck? I don't care about paying extra taxes.
I know what you're saying,
That's why I'm
so,
asking you the question now.
Right.
but as far as, I understand what you're saying about having to ask permission, and I get that, but has anybody ever been told you can't be on it?
The signs,
I know that, but I mean.
legally. A
but
cop comes along, he can stop me just like that.
Right, but have you ever asked permission and been told no?
No, I've never asked permission.
Oh,
Have I
okay.
broke the law? Yeah.
Aha.
But I mean, is that, is
There's
that
no
how
statute of
I'd
limitations.
rather have it legal.
Yeah,
I'd rather have it legal.
absolutely.
Right.
You know, that's
Right, but
that's
if
just
you-
something you guys can do as a town.
Well, it sounds like we could revisit that. It sounds like Seth has a little history on it, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so back to this amount, this 115.
Yep.
Does that seem like a number that we're all comfortable with?
I am.
I think it's plenty.
if you don't need it, it's going back.
Yeah. I mean, we only spend it on all good stuff.
Yeah, we're
so.
spending, this is where it's going, this is what it's gonna spend on.
Well, your public works is 118.
That's the balance in there right now?
That's what was in the book.
Huh.
We also want to sell that truck, if that's gonna be on there.
No.
And we could ask for the proceeds, we could ask permission to put the proceeds into the roads budget,
Come
whatever
off
that
the
is,
road, yeah, we're asking for 115,
plus the
X
truck,
amount, yeah.
Right,
so that it's in there.
right. And
And
then
that
we
gives
don't
us a
have-
little more cushion for a few extra culverts, or to cut some brush, or whatever.
I
I
was
mean,
thinking about doing it the other way.
What?
You're asking for 115, but you would take the value, take whatever we get off the truck off from that.
oh, I see what you, yeah, that's fine
It
too.
would be less of
But
a.
yeah, probably,
Won't take long to sell.
somebody sell it, yeah.
You'll sell it. I mean, the question is
But
what
I mean,
price.
I don't think it's a big value there. It's not like the other one.
You're
But I
negotiating
said-
this deal too.
I said
You
the other
guys did a
one.
good job on that little one.
I'd say, yeah.
I couldn't sleep nights if it worked.
Oi.
The
I
closer.
Alright,
So,
the only other thing that I have, and it doesn't have to be on the warrant, I guess, but we're on the conversation about public works, and I know we had somebody interested in buying that pavement saw. I don't know where you ended up with that, but I was questioned about it, we had talked about it yet.
We did, I talked with, Jeff Libby, he said they would offer us 500.
So when he was,
We don't need permission for that.
when I talked to Jeff, he was also under the stipulation, thinking that was like 6 or 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Told him I'm pretty sure it's not.
No.
I'm pretty sure I was here.
I was on
When
the
we bought
budget
that.
committee when it
What's a new
appeared.
one?
I don't know, so that honestly, that's what I would,
1,500.
Oh, okay, alright.
I think we paid more for it.
I do
But
too.
is that because it was the
cause
car?
we got this, yeah, we got the car, we got
Right,
everything.
yeah, so
Yeah.
part of it is-
I thought it was 2,300.
I was thinking it was.
is it something we need? Do we need it?
It's not.
No, we're gonna get rid of it, we just wanna know, we don't know if 500 is a decent price.
My only other question of this is, and we don't have to do this as part of that warrant article, but there's a lot of small engine stuff up there that's sitting, that's not being used. And it's not doing any of it any good.
No.
I mean, there's weed whackers up there, there's chainsaws up there, and all that stuff is doing is every day goes by is one day
Yeah, it's just-
closer to throwing it in a trash can.
What we
So I
really
just-
need is permission to have a yard sale.
If you're not gonna use it, you're better off getting something out of it and getting it out of there.
Yeah.
That
Do we
was-
wanna do that? Do we wanna put that in there?
I think we
or-
wait till spring.
Okay,
Wanna wait on that one?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Cause now I'm
It's-
wondering, now this might tie into that park project and we
Oh,
were shifting, we got assets sitting there and this,
yep,
Yep,
it's a lot of things you could do
Yeah.
with that whole thing.
okay, okay.
Okay. But as far as selling that one tool, if we've got somebody wants to buy it,
We've got an offer of 500 on the table.
that's
I'm
something.
very certain that was bought at Doors Equipment.
No,
I
that
guess
is-
that
I
was
can,
right on it.
It
Pretty
does.
sure.
does it?
Pretty sure that's where that was bought. It was bought my first year as selectman.
Oh, so you remember the transaction?
So it was 2000,
I'm on 4, so.
okay.
Probably don't mean nothing, but I'd give you 700 for it.
Well, that's
Like-
Well,
It means,
That's
it means it's
something.
not going for 5.
That's right.
That's what it means.
Right, well.
that. Honestly, that was my point. Is that's
yeah, well,
why
that's why I was,
before we do anything
Yeah.
about this, is the number one thing we need to do is see that purchase order.
Right.
I mean, you can.
I can get it.
You can find out what
If you
we
tell me
actually paid for that.
2014, then.
Paul Davis, an auctioneer.
Yeah, there you go.
He
There
really
you go.
is.
Yeah.
Actually, I've talked to, I have a client who lives in Corinna, and, cause there was some discussion about us auctioning property, and the select board in Corinna, that's exactly what they're doing. When they get tax quiet property, the selectman, you know, the chair auctions it. And, cause somebody told us we couldn't do that, well, they're doing it.
Huh.
Have a starting bid,
That's all he's
Sure,
doing, and they're
sure,
raising their hand.
Sure,
you know,
Sure.
then that'll cover what you would expect to get out of it.
sure.
Right, you can have a minimum,
Yeah,
See
yeah.
where it goes.
yeah,
Right.
but we were told we had to hire a professional auctioneer, and they're not doing it.
There's a lot of people that do a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily always mean everybody's doing it the right way.
Correct, and people will
that's
tell you things that
Yeah.
People may,
sometimes they're.
there's a lot of
Well,
uneducated.
talk
You have
about
an
that
article in
figure.
your town warrant and they approve it,
That's right.
what more do you need?
That's the only thing about that building up there. I mean, there's a lot of tires, there's a lot of chains, there's a lot of cutting edges. I mean, there's a lot of stuff up there that does have some value to some people, but don't have any value to the taxpayers if we're not doing that stuff.
If it's sitting there,
Sure.
it's not making any money.
But if you get permission to have an auction and get rid of that excess stuff
Right.
from the townspeople at town meetings,
Just found money,
right?
sure.
Yep,
I think in the spring we should prep.
Paul
that.
Davis could be the auctioneer.
yep.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's great.
Yep, be fun, actually.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to throw an article in front of the people about that and see what happens.
As long as tomatoes don't fly back, that's all that matters.
Hey, sometimes they do.
But it's alright.
And they
But
might
it's an
not.
idea, it's up to them. I mean, if they don't wanna do it, then they
I
don't
watched
have to.
articles that I thought was gonna be a lot of discussion, like,
Oh, yeah,
I know
that's,
it.
it's
it's
always,
something like you said, penny
Yeah,
ante stuff.
$6,000 and
And
the
then-
carpets.
yeah.
Carpets,
and the discussion goes on for 45 minutes, so
Yeah.
you just don't know.
everybody's mad
Okay,
about it.
all right.
So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
found a number, it's 115.
Yep.
I don't, do you wanna,
I would like to throw the truck on there.
we're gonna ask for permission to sell the truck, do you wanna direct the proceeds, or do we even care? It's not gonna be that much.
Doesn't matter, spend it.
Okay,
I think.
so
You can ask for
Sell the
115,
truck.
sell the truck, that goes back in the general.
15, is there anything else we wanna ask for? I don't think so,
Keep it simple.
keep it simple.
Okay, what about a date? Okay, are you here?
Yeah, we have to
7
keep
days.
moving here. We have to have it 7 days, it has to be posted, so once you sign it, then I have to have Lorna or somebody sign that they're
Mhm.
gonna post it, and then they have to go post it. We have to give them 7 days
From then.
from then,
So
So
we,
if everything, this was drawn up and signed,
yeah,
you just need to let us know when you're ready for signatures.
okay.
And then
So,
that will tell us when.
do we
Right.
need a,
We need to pick a date first, and
Yeah.
work backwards, I guess.
Just FYI, from starting next Thursday, I'm not available on Thursdays evenings until December 5th.
Thursday?
Taking a class at KVC,
Okay,
so 6 to 9.
There we go, that took a while.
I'm gonna be away September 8th through the 18th.
8th through
Well-
the 18th.
if you guys wanna get McPheeters done, we need to do
I know,
sooner
I
rather
know,
than.
I know.
Is
Later.
Labor Day the 2nd of September?
I think so.
Monday the
I mean, how
2nd?
long is it gonna take you to have this ready for us to sign?
So,
I can do it
Tomorrow.
Wednesday,
So
the
next
4th.
Friday night?
September 4th.
Whatever day we wanna do.
Okay, so, and as long as I can get
What days did you
Paul
say?
to be
Was that just-
moderator and,
8th through the 18th.
Actually,
and somebody to do the.
if Paul can't moderate,
Uh-huh,
one of us will moderate,
okay,
I think we're allowed to.
okay, I mean, all you have to do is get a moderator.
Somebody has to be nominated, that's all.
Right.
But this is such a small.
Sure.
I don't wanna
Yeah.
skip it because Paul can't do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and I have to get somebody to sign in voters.
Yep. Yep.
So-
So, if we sign this thing tomorrow or Friday, we're good for the 4th of September.
Okay.
Does that work
Which
for
is
everybody?
what day is that?
That's a Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
That would be our normal meeting day.
And I suggest we have a meeting afterwards to approve
Probably.
getting the,
Sure.
That'd be great.
the road work.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
that ball moving immediately.
Because
It's gonna be short and sweet, I mean.
regardless of the
Right.
outcome, we're gonna have to make some decisions, so.
Right,
Yep.
so you have your meeting,
That works perfect.
select meeting.
Yeah, that's great.
And this all hinges on me getting it all put together tomorrow, and so,
That's-
Well, pretty well got
Friday
it,
or
though,
Monday, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you got time for the
It's
4th.
just gotta be posted, you really wanna have it posted
So
like
no-
Monday.
right,
Tomorrow's Thursday.
yeah,
So,
She got,
okay.
you'll be good.
I'll get it done tomorrow, you can all come in Friday, and we can post it.
Okay.
and-
yep.
Is there anything else that, when you've done these special meetings before, do you have to have a vote to do this now? Before you
We
sign?
Make a
the-
motion.
we
you need
make a motion to have this meeting, yes.
Yeah, I made the motion to have it on,
September 4th,
Special town meeting,
special town meeting. What time?
6:30. Isn't that what we did?
I don't remember.
I don't think,
That
I don't
sounds
think they're
right.
gonna wanna set up for food for this.
No, no.
I mean,
We'll keep
They
it
can if
simple.
they want to, but I don't,
Right,
that's why we did 6:30.
yeah.
So you wanna do 6 or 6:30? I don't care, I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm cogitating.
I see you looking.
I can see Steve.
That's why I didn't know what direction.
I mean, I'd rather do 6, but I'm trying to see if there's a
Oh,
a
for
negative to that.
people to get out of work.
Yeah. Then we're not gonna feed them, so 6 is probably better than 6:30.
Yeah.
And
let's
then
go
they get home and
I'd
eat.
say
The whole
6
thing's gonna be
o'clock.
over is,
Right.
yeah, 6 o'clock, okay.
Well,
6 o'clock.
I mean, you ain't gonna have a lot of discussion here. You
Right.
can explain everything you wanna do, and if nobody wants to do it, then it's gonna be voted
Then
down.
you're going home.
I mean, it shouldn't be no more than a 20-minute meeting, and that's with discussion.
Right, 6 o'clock.
If there's no discussion, we'll be out of there in about 45 seconds.
So did you make the motion?
For 6 o'clock on September 4th.
I second.
Any further discussion? Well, one bit of discussion. Do we wanna consider
You say 6 or 6:30?
6?
6.
Do we wanna consider doing it in this room? Do you think the
Yeah.
turnout will be that small?
I would not do it in this room.
You wouldn't dare take that chance.
Done it one time and I swore I'd never do it.
Well, I listened to one
Okay.
on tape and it was chaos.
It was
Yeah,
I wasn't
chaos.
here.
that's been here. So, but do we need to clear it through the fire?
Yeah, we'll have,
I'm sure I can get
Yeah.
them to,
and we just wanna make sure the sound system is functioning.
okay.
That was
So it's
hit or
100,
miss.
we're looking for 115. You want me to break it down into what we're going to do? No.
Just a
No,
list of,
you don't break nothing down for the warrant. You leave it on there, 115.
Right, for the warrant article,
Yeah?
to raise,
and then a description of the work, a total description of,
You want
What
that
you've read.
on the warrant, or do you wanna have that to talk about at the meeting when people ask questions?
Yeah,
That's the question.
that's the question, yeah.
well, your description could be as succinct as completing McFeeters and prepping East Sangerville and
and
some gravel road
on-
work.
And work on gravel roads.
And
Sure, it's
Yeah.
no dollar value.
nothing.
That, I like
Yeah,
that.
Well, it's
That's
total,
good.
here's our
That's
total
good.
request to
Yep.
do all of this.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Okay, and I will just put it together tomorrow, send it to you guys, and if you see
To review.
anything,
And I think on that warrant, it's maybe a little asterisk or italicized, funds that we've received over the year. The truck and acquired real estate equal, and I think it was around $58,000, but it might have been 60. But just a note of that, so that almost everybody's gonna say, oh wow, they want 115, we brought in 60, that's really not spending much money at all, so, and we'll be able to share that with them.
Right,
And the only other item is still on the truck.
right.
okay, give me some specifics on the truck.
Well, let's finish, no
Okay.
further discussion?
No.
We vote, it's unanimous.
You look at your insurance card, you'll have it all in there.
Yeah.
You still got insurance on it, actually, we should have the registration in there. I would think.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full.
I can,
Yeah.
I can give her some.
Well, the ladies
information.
must be able to pull it.
That's what I mean. You pull it-
Registration form.
You pull it right up on the computer, that's all
Yeah.
you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you gonna sell the sander now?
Do break it out, sell it, we're gonna sell it, but we can piece it.
We've had somebody express interest in the sander.
Correct. We need permission to sell it all, but doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna sell it
Correct.
As a
So,
whole.
but we want permission for the truck and the sander, and is there a plow blade to go
Yep.
with it?
And
Yeah, the
implements,
plow.
and
Implements. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, so then it's not.
And then we can break them down however we want afterwards.
Truck and accessories.
There you go.
That's how we did it before, and then, so we had permission to sell everything, and then we
Right.
just bid it out all separately, however.
Okay.
Okay, and if you email us and I'll sign whenever you're
That's pretty
ready.
good
Okay.
money.
Is
Okay.
it stainless steel?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's close to the truck.
it's a really nice standard.
Oh, very good. Okay. Okay, good. Very good.
Okay, so we're done the item B. We're on to new business.
Yeah. It's all old business.
The new business is old business, okay.
So we're,
I don't have any.
oh, okay, okay.
Anything on committee reports today?
Nope.
Correspondence?
Nope.
Request for additional agenda items? Anybody? No? Selectmen's concerns? We have an executive session listed here, which we can do. I'm kind of thinking I'd rather address this after our town meeting, but that's up to you guys.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
You want to table it?
Sure.
Second?
Second.
Table. Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We are adjourned at 6:16.